Hey guys, this is Issues with Toddy One Skip, and I'm Toddy One Skip. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for letting me be part of your day. I really appreciate it. If you guys would please like, subscribe, and share, it means the world to me. And if you don't like the video, you can unsubscribe at the end of it. But I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing until April, and I'm committing 100% to here. So I'll make that decision in April if I'm going to continue to go or not. But you know, I would like all the support that I can until that time, and if I get it, maybe we'll stick it out. So real quick, I want to get into this Captain Tommy of the lifeboat conversation that he had with A-A Ron. And I did actually take some of the video, which we're gonna see, because there's things that I just thought, wow.
Yeah. You know, I've even tried ecstasy, and I was like, oh my God,
likes
this
ecstasy. You can't tell me you don't like ecstasy. Nobody on planet
Here's the-
Earth doesn't like ecstasy.
Okay, so Tommy's channel provides a fresh look at addiction, trauma, and recovery by social media to advance a sober, fulfilling lifestyle. It's an alternative to AA. So his language is different. So sobriety and AA. So, okay. So I've worked in addiction for years. I don't do that anymore. I got burnt out. I worked with children. I worked in the jails with inmates, not necessarily in addiction with jails and the inmates, but so many inmates all those years working with jails. And I worked directly with the inmates. I wasn't a CO. Like, I worked side by side with the inmates, teaching them how to work in the real world. So I actually worked with them, had conversations with them. I met somebody, I don't know if I've said this, a guy that was in jail, and I said to him, yo man, you're like, you don't quite fit in here. And he said, yeah, I've never been in trouble with the law before. And I said, well, what brings you here to the Arlington Hilton? And he said, well, one night I was coming home from a party I was at, and I guess I had too much to drink, because I drove right through this guy's house, killed him in the recliner. His wife was upstairs in bed asleep, and this guy had fallen asleep in his recliner watching TV. That's not an alcoholic. That's somebody that abused alcohol that night. So there is a difference between addiction and abusing, okay? Both of them are problems, okay? So Tommy says that he lives a sober life, but Tommy also says that he does edibles. I'm not knocking Tommy. I smoke pot. I live in New York. It's legal. I smoke pot. I don't know where Tommy lives. I think it's California. I'm not 100%. Marijuana is legal in California. Here's the thing. AA, if you go by the AA standards of sobriety and being sober, right, it's not giving up your drug of choice. It's giving up all drugs. All drugs. That's the definition of sobriety in AA. Like I said, Tommy, his sobriety, from what I gathered, is staying away from your drug of choice and doing things in moderation. That's fine. That's really not sobriety unless you bring it into your group and you define it as sobriety within your group. That's fine with that. But that's not sobriety in the real world, outside in the real world. That'd be like telling a gambler, oh, so you have problems with slot machines and casinos and blackjack and all that? That's all right, man. Hit the bookie up and just bet on some football. No. Tommy says that addicts, that you could see in their brain that they're addicts. And, you know, I know that there's proof and stuff out there. My thing is I don't think that everybody that uses drugs, even to the extreme, is addicted. I think that there are addicts, and I think that there are people that abuse drugs. But again, it's still not okay. If you do things in moderation, like I said, I smoke pot. I don't smoke it at work. I don't smoke it the minute I get off work. I might not smoke every day. That's moderation. Okay. I can't really comment on things like that because I do that. I do smoke. So I'm just going to say that I can't say that I live a sober life. I don't do my drug of choice. I haven't done it in a long, long time. Cocaine. We've talked about that. It's been 40 years. But for me to tell people I'm sober, that would not be a true statement. In AA, or, you know, again, you're messing with language. And once you mess with language, it's like, you find a different word to use for sober. And I'm not bashing Tommy. I think any platform that reaches out to help people to say, man, you're not in this alone, I salute you. I do. But you got to call out problems, I think, where you see them. And there was a few things that Aaron said that that I just want to talk about. All right. They were asking why we were having this conversation again. Why? And it's because it's not going away. When you keep talking about it, what happened in California, it's not going to go away. And people are calling Aaron out. So that's what's happening now, or people are starting to see a different side. And so that's why you're talking about it. I'm talking about it because you're talking about it, to be honest with you. And because I disagree with so much of what you said. Listen, when I stopped working in the jails, I thought, man, let me try to help the kids before they get in that kind of trouble. And so I went to school. I didn't go to school for that, but I took a job in a rehab, in a residential juvenile rehab, where the kids couldn't leave. It was either that or jail. And then I went back to school, and I studied for the KSAC. You see? So the language is not what the professionals would use, but Tommy's not claiming he's a professional. But that gives Aaron, or people like Aaron, a gray area. Oh, I'm not an addict. No, I don't have a problem. I'm sober. You are? Well, Tommy said I'm sober, and he's got all this experience. You see the danger in that?
Time. I'm not a loud or angry drunk. I'm a fun drunk.
So, Aaron says he feels he's someone incapable of becoming addicted to something. I don't mean this any way that it's going to come out, but I don't know how else. So let me say it, and then let me explain it. Aaron was in a cult. He was manipulated to believe certain ways. Nobody thinks that they're capable of being addicted to anything when they haven't even been manipulated in a certain way. And being that Aaron, we know, has been manipulated in a certain way from being in a cult, I find it really impossible for Aaron to say, I don't feel like, I feel incapable. I feel like I can't be addicted to anything. I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true at all. Tommy says that people will pull away when they're in addiction. When they're in full-blown addiction, yep, they'll pull away. But not at the beginning of their addiction, because they haven't realized there's no shame yet. They pull away when they're like, I need it, and I don't want anybody to know. Or I stole from this person, I'm hiding from this person because I stole from them and they shouldn't find me, and where there's my drugs. But before you get to that point, no, you're out there, you're doing stuff. You just all of a sudden don't become addicted, right? So that, I have to disagree. Yes, when you're in stages of deep blown addiction, yes, you are doing crap alone and stuff like that, but there's stages to get to that. And I'm not sure that Aaron's not at the beginning stages. And I'm not sure that Tommy could say that Aaron is not. Because he's not a doctor. I'm not a doctor. I say that Aaron has a problem. He's abusing things. And he's still continuing to look for things. And he goes into the things that he's tried and continues on about how much that if he found something he liked, and that's scary for him, stop looking for something that you know is going to be bad for you, Aaron. And Tommy, you need to tell him that. Stop looking, man. Just stop looking. You got everything you need here. And when things are tough, just give me a call. Tommy, not Toddy. Tommy, you know. So they talked about microdosing, mushrooms, and taking edibles, and all that is fine. I don't know if it's legal where Aaron's at. I don't know if it's fine, if it's not fine for Aaron. If he's not controlling it, it's not fine. If it's going to get out of control, it's not fine. You got to be honest. Are you doing it every day? Do you want to do it every day? Did you go out of your way to get it? Do you see yourself going in the direction of that? There's a lot of things that I don't think you can honestly ask yourself. I think it is up to people in your life to say, yo, man, why haven't you shown up for this? Or why are you lying about that? Or why do you look peculiar here? Or why, you know, you got to show up in people's lives. And I know that Aaron shows up on YouTube, and he shows up live on YouTube when he wants to show up. I don't know what Aaron does when he's not on YouTube. Who does? Who does? When he's not in front of Tommy or telling Tommy things, how does Tommy know? You know? So, I don't know. So, this is a message from your sponsor. I'm your sponsor. I'm my sponsor. If you like the video so far, could you please like the video? And please subscribe to my channel and give me a chance and participate in the chat. Thanks, guys. Sorry for the interruption. I gotta try what I gotta try. Why isn't Tommy saying, yo, man, why don't you go to somebody and just talk it out? You know, like, I'm here for you, but, you know, I think that you need somebody with a little bit more experience, and especially somebody by where you live. Why don't you talk to somebody and see if that can't help? Where's that? Because I don't hear that at all. Aaron says he's not he doesn't even have a problem with nicotine or tobacco, and that's one of the worst habits to give up. I was a cigarette smoker for years. I quit 10 years ago. It is a horrible habit, and very tough to give up because it's legal, it's easy to get, and it pacifies you. It's like a big smelly old hug, right, to a smoker. So Aaron says, but I smoke cigars and I'm easy. I don't have to do that. I just smoke to look cool, have something to do with my hands and stuff like that. Aaron, you don't need to look cool smoking a cigar. But if you smoke a cigar, okay. Very few people smoke cigars and inhale them. So I would think that without inhaling them, it's probably pretty easy to not become addicted to the nicotine in it, or it's just because you're not inhaling, unless you are inhaling. But most people that smoke cigars and pipes, they don't inhale. They just, you know, it is just about, I don't know what. They stink. I don't like them. Pipes aren't too bad, but cigars, I don't like them. But that's probably why.
Correct?
She got kicked out of Molly Malone's, but that was earlier.
Okay. But it's a repeating pattern, correct? Because I'll be honest, in my entire lifetime, I've been kicked out of one bar. But I mean, when you see people whose activity seems like...
Tommy, I didn't say this earlier because I might have just forgotten in my previous videos. Not only was she kicked out of Molly Malone's, She was kicked out of the courthouse twice by the sheriff's deputies.
Yeah, so I mean, this is.
For
I mean, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but there are people who struggle.
For getting into altercations with people in the courthouse.
Okay,
she was kicked out of the Danny Masterson trial. I don't even know why I'm mentioning that. I'm just. It's like there is a history, a pattern of behavior. But anyway, so the thing is,
well, it's important. I mean, I'm sorry, but that really is important.
It really is important. Now, someone will go, well, that doesn't mean that you didn't do X, Y, and Z. Whatever. I'm not going to rehash everything.
Tommy diagnoses Juliana in this video by her repeated behavior. She's not there. He's going by what Aaron is saying. And Tommy knows. Tommy knows, because Tommy's wise. He knows that there's three sides to every story. Why are you, diagnosing her? She's not there. The guy in front of you is there. And you don't diagnose him. You jump on an all-boys club and think that it's an excuse to why Aaron was okay in still bringing this girl back to the club he was at, or the private hotel, or whatever place was that he borrowed from his friend. His reasoning is in the video that you're gonna see, which made me say, yeah, I'm done.
Pat Shore says, and you gotta love the hey, I have to ask, knowing that woman is a wackadoodle, why would you sleep with her? Now here's the thing, people.
Doesn't that question answer itself?
Really? Yeah. I mean, look, I'm just going to be a dude, right? There is a very pervasive rumor, right, that goes around that has to do with a certain, the hotter they are, that sometimes they tend to be a little bit more wackadoodle thing. This is just a rumor. I'm not saying that I believe in any of this, but that is something you hear, because guys are weak. It's what we're famous for.
So, guys, I wanted to make this short and sweet because I'm still working on that video that I'm telling you about. The one about this specific cult, which I think it's, very interesting. And I'm hoping to get that out to you by Monday morning. I'm hoping to work on that today and tonight and get that out to you by Monday morning. Once again, I thank everybody for inviting me in to be a part of your day, night, whatever time I'm looking at you now. I appreciate that. Again, for all of my Jewish viewers, happy Hanukkah. And guys, this is Issues with Toddy One Skip. I so appreciate you. Please engage in the chat. Hit the bell, right? There's a bell. Hit the bell, the notifying bell. Subscribe and like. But yeah, I like the chats. All right, guys. Thank you. Issues with Toddy One Skip. Don't forget, be better today than you were yesterday, but not half as good as you're going to be tomorrow. And thank you for all of the great messages that I receive in my comments.